Welcome back to the channel. Oh man, what a day. Another day, guys. It just isn't stopping. Yesterday we had a bit of a cool off day, in my opinion. But we still shot up and we hit that $90,000 level and hit an all-time high yesterday. So we've hit an all-time high today. We've gone to 73 or 73. That's how quick Bitcoin's moving, guys. My mentality is still stuck in the 70s. We just hit 93. Let's see, 93, 483 just an hour or so ago. So we're just continuing this upwards trend, and it's on fire, guys. The last 7 days, I just want to jump over and look at this on the daily. The last 7 days, guys, we have only had one day where we didn't hit an all-time high, and that wasn't yesterday. Yesterday felt like, to me, it felt like we were cooling off a bit. But we shot up and made a new all-time high yesterday. But the only day we haven't hit a new all-time high was Saturday. Saturday was an up day. Yesterday was actually, we closed the daily candle in the red yesterday. But Saturday we actually gained, but we didn't hit a new all-time high. So interesting kind of thing going on there. Guys, we've got some news to cover. I'm going to show you guys a few things. Also going to show you guys some things in the charts. But before we get into that, guys, I do have, I had a comment on my video yesterday, and I do just want to get into that. So really quick, Reagan Sampson 1927 commented on my video yesterday and said, "I'm curious about taking gains during the bull and using them to buy back into the bear cycle. What to expect from paying taxes or ways to pay less taxes on your gains? Is there a way to roll your gains in and out without paying capital gains until you cash out? I know this isn't how you do things, but I'm sure you have knowledge on it. Any help understanding this part of investing would be much appreciated." Okay, so yeah, I usually don't do this, but I would love to actually take comments and kind of address what you guys need. Actually, that's why I said in that last video, leave me some comments on what you guys want to know. So this is awesome. Thank you, Reagan Sampson. Okay, so let's get into that. Taking profits during the bull and buying back in the bear cycle. Let's just go on that first. And to do that, guys, I do want to jump over to the charts just to kind of show you guys this. Let me jump over there. Okay, so here's the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to actually go back out. We're going to go clear out to the weekly, just to kind of show you guys the cycles. And actually, I'm going to go over to this Bitcoin chart because I do have the halving dates marked with those green vertical lines. So here's the thing. And it actually, yeah, that's right. Is this? It looks like one of these halving dates got moved. May 11th. This one is moved, so I need to move that. This was actually back, I believe, right here in July or August that year. Okay, so that's closer. I'll have to kind of get that exact date and put it in right exactly. But so you can see the halving, and so going if you're going to try and trade the bear market, the cycle for this 4-year cycle, here's the thing you would want to look at. You look, and I've run the numbers on, how many days past the halvings do we hit an all-time high and peak out, how long we go into these bear markets. And usually, guys, just really simplified, it's basically, we have an entire year of down during that bear market. It's almost exactly a year each time. So from right here, clear down to right here was about a year. And then we have 3 years where we go, largely to the upside. You can see it it isn't too explosive right in here. And then this last year or so, we really go parabolic. It's what, is often called the banana zone or the parabolic zone or crypto fall. But we really go crazy during that last year or so, 9 months, year or so of that 4-year period. And then we hit that top, and we have another year of down. So taking that into consideration, if you're going to try and time that cycle, according to history, that would put us in the third or fourth quarter of 2025. Now, here's the caveat here, guys. Past performance doesn't always predict future performance, right? So, but it is pretty strong, guys. This halving cycle is pretty strong. Not only is it backed up by the Bitcoin halving, but it's backed up by the election cycle, the U.S. election cycle. It's also backed up by the 4-year economic cycle, and it's backed up by the global liquidity cycle, guys. So like when banks are pumping money into the economy, which kind of feeds into the economic cycle, really. But guys, there's several things that this cycle really, it's pretty strong because it's backed up by several things. So that being said, what to expect this time. I almost, and I hate to say this, guys, because this has honestly been said every single cycle that we've had. People last cycle saw MicroStrategy buying Bitcoin August of 2020 before it was, right around the halving, and a lot of people were calling for a super cycle. They were saying, "Oh, institutions are here. We're going, and this is going to be the cycle of all cycles. We're going to go." And it's literally been that narrative every single cycle. People get optimistic and think that we're going to have this super cycle. So I almost hate saying this next part, but here's the thing, guys. It is, I think, more likely this cycle that we break this 4-year cycle than ever before. And let me just show you guys why. I'm going to jump over to the actually, do I have this? Oh yeah, here we go. GLD. So GLD, the chart I'm going to bring up here, this is the gold ETF. So let's jump over there. This is the gold ETF. And as you guys can see, this gold got its ETF moment back in 2004. Okay, now what's really interesting is if we zoom in on this beginning, look at what it did, guys. It chopped sideways for, let's just measure this out. It chopped sideways for about 42 weeks. So, about 10 months of just sideways action, which interestingly is fairly close to what we've done here with Bitcoin's ETF. We did shoot up pretty good on that ETF, but then we've been trading sideways for the last 6 or 8 months. And so according to that, it's pretty similar to what gold did back in 2004. Now, if we jump out to the monthly, guys, so this is GLD on the monthly chart. So you can see we went sideways and down after the ETF moment for gold. This is still gold's ETF. And then we just went straight up for, guys, this was 8 years. I'm actually going to jump out to the yearly and just show you. Okay, so this is the yearly chart for the gold ETF. You saw that 10 months, almost a year of just sideways. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of straight up. You could argue 7 years because we did hit that really wick. We wicked clear up here during this year and then came back down. And then we did end up this next year a little bit higher than when we closed this year, but we didn't hit that all-time high, or gold didn't hit. I wasn't in this ETF or anything, or into gold even back then. But guys, this is kind of, what happened to gold after it got its ETF and was finally traded on Wall Street. So do we have that with Bitcoin? That's the big question, because if we did have, even if we went into 2026, 2027, just a few more years of upside, that would break that 4-year cycle trend that Bitcoin has always stayed into. Let alone 8 years, 7 years, 8 years, guys. That would be an absolute, it would be the super cycle, right? So, yeah. So that being said, if you're going to trade the cycle, I do actually, so none of this is obviously financial advice, guys, especially, when it comes to this comment, but if you do plan on trading the cycle, just really dig in and kind of do some math on what we've done before, and kind of weigh that with what you're thinking is in the future, guys. So, that was just kind of my caveat on saying, if you're planning on trading this cycle, Reagan Sampson here says, curious about taking gains during the bull and buying back in the bear. The big question is if we have a bear this cycle. And this is crazy talk because literally we've had this super cycle talk every single cycle, but that's the question. So you can definitely try and time this cycle, but the big question is if we're going to have a bear. Now, where we've had this ETF thing, and this, I've been saying this for a while, every cycle in Bitcoin, that bear year, we've gone down every single time close to 80%. And I don't think that's going to happen this time. I don't think Wall Street works that way, and people are not, when institutions get into an asset like Bitcoin, if they see it dropping, all they do is reallocate their positions in their portfolios. So if Bitcoin is going down, they reallocate and readjust their portfolios, and they try and keep, their allocation to certain things at a certain percentage. And so when we do have institutions coming in this time and treating their portfolios that way, I think that dampens the downside here. The cool thing is we all got to front run the institutions. But that goes into future bull runs also. Once these institutions are in, once we start, really taking off and seeing bigger gains, they're going to reallocate their positions in their portfolios to bring that percentage down. So it works both ways, guys. But the cool thing is we did get to front run these guys, and right now we're still front running a lot of institutions, governments, sovereign wealth funds, all kinds of things. So there's still a lot to come, but I don't expect that 80% drawdown during the bear market this time. So that gets into the next part of what Reagan Sampson was asking. This kind of goes into taxes. So generally, when you're talking about taxes, now caveat here, you really should go into H&R Block or some tax preparation thing. Even if you do your taxes yourself or use TurboTax or whatever, go in and talk to somebody. Usually it's a free consultation just to sit down and kind of run through scenarios. But generally it's, I think long-term capital or short-term capital gains is about 20%. Now this kind of depends on your tax bracket, right? But generally short-term capital gains. So meaning short-term means if you've bought and sold in under 1 year, that's a short-term capital gains. Usually that's about 20%. So if you take that 20% and you don't think we're going to go down 80% in Bitcoin, it just becomes that margin becomes smaller. And timing things just perfectly becomes more and more risky with a higher tax bracket, right? Now, long-term capital gains goes down. Oh, I can't even remember. I should know this. Long-term capital gains goes down substantially, guys. Don't quote me here. It's been like a year, and for some reason my brain just isn't working right now. But I think short-term capital gains is more around like the 5% tax, generally. So if you've been holding longer than a year and you're planning on cashing out and trading this cycle, it really does help if you've been in and bought in to these assets that you're going to trade out of for longer than a year, because that reduces your taxes quite substantially, and that gap is not going to be quite as tight to cover. If we only go down 10%, say, and you have even if you trade it perfectly, if you trade out and buy back in, it is going to be worth it, but it becomes risky, guys, especially with those tax liabilities. Now, the other question Reagan Sampson had, let's see, is there a way to roll your gains in and out without paying capital gains until you cash out? Unfortunately, no. There is no way to do that. Even, this was a big question I had back in 2020. That's kind of where I thought maybe stable coins would be helpful. If you could buy in to Bitcoin, cash out into stable coins, and just kind of trade that way, you're keeping your money in crypto, right? And so, maybe it's not taxed that way. But unfortunately, anytime you trade your cryptocurrency, whether you're trading in and out for dollars or you're buying a different cryptocurrency with Bitcoin or vice versa, anytime you trade, that is a taxable event. So something you've really got to pay attention to, because if you're doing that short term, you're going to have those short term tax events, right? Short term capital gains on all your trades that way. So unfortunately, no, there's not a way to roll your gains in and out without paying capital gains until you cash out. Now, what to expect from paying taxes or ways to pay less taxes on your gains. Now, guys, I appreciate this question because this is something I cover every single episode. If you want to lessen your tax liability, guys, every month I choose a different 501c animal sanctuary, and by donating to these animal sanctuaries, that is a tax break for you. So, guys, this is Rory Pond Rescue Ranch. Plug here for them. I do this every episode. And these guys I will be showcasing for the rest of the month, guys. Go over, donate a few bucks to these guys. Do this every month. And, I've literally donated to different animal sanctuaries every single month since 2018. And guys, I can tell you it's paid off for me just in the tax, liability area. Not only that, but you guys get to, you're doing something awesome for these animals. So, go over here. I've left the description or the links to their page in the description. You can go over to more on their homepage. Go to shop to support our animals. You can send them something that they need off of Amazon. Buy some of their merch. Now, if you buy their merch, that I do not believe constitutes a tax bracket or a tax break. Just be aware of that. You're actually getting something for your money. But if you donate to them via Amazon wishlist or PayPal or Venmo, that is a tax write-off, guys. And like I've said, I've done this every single month for 6 or 7 years now. So, this really helps when you're looking to kind of mitigate your tax liability. So go over, help these animals out, buy yourself some good karma, and help yourself out tax-wise. Okay, so plug there for Rory Pond Rescue Ranch. But that, guys, the thing is like, yes, you're giving money away, but it is better in my opinion, it's better to give your money to, an animal sanctuary or some 501c that's doing something positive in the world than to pay the government. And I get it. Like, some of our tax dollars really does go to improving, roads and things that we actually need and makes the world better. But a lot of it goes to things like the Department of Defense that has failed their audits 6 times straight. They've lost billions of dollars every single year. They're just like, whoops, lost that money, went to killing somebody, but we don't know who. So instead of paying for that, go over and help these animals out. Okay, so did I cover all of that? I think that pretty much covers your comment. Again, Reagan, thank you for the comment. I love doing stuff like this. I like helping you guys out with the things that you need. So that was, a good explanation of all of that, but really get into, get into H&R Block or somewhere and talk to somebody about your taxes, because everybody's tax situation is a little bit different. So I like to give you guys a little bit of things to think about as far as that goes, but really you should probably sit down with somebody. And again, like I said, I went into H&R Block, I think last year, and just sat down with somebody and kind of told them my situation and got a little bit of feedback on what to expect. As far as tax breaks, there are several other ways to get some tax breaks. Putting solar panels on your house, buying an electric vehicle. There's several things like that. Now, I don't know, with our new president coming in, things might change with that as well. So always good to get in and talk to somebody. And like I said, it's usually a free consultation. So, okay, so let's get into the rest of the video here. Guys, I'm going to jump over. This was the Bitcoin ETF, the Bitcoin ETF flows. Now, yesterday, guys, we saw an inflow of nearly $1 billion, $817 million of inflows to the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. Now, guys, this is exactly what I was saying in the video yesterday. Yesterday really, to me at least, felt like a very cooling day. We really didn't make a lot of big moves for the majority of the day. We did pop up and hit that all-time high, but it seemed a little lackluster to me. But I was saying, even though we're having a day like that, the ETFs could be swallowing up a whole load of Bitcoin. And that's exactly what they did, guys. BlackRock, again, bought 778 million into their ETF. And we almost hit another $1 billion day. Now, guys, several videos ago, I did a thing on the OTC market, which is where these Bitcoin ETFs buy their Bitcoin from without affecting the market right away, right? And the charts on those showed that we had I believe 32 billion in the OTC market at that point. Now, I don't know where it's gone since then, but 32 billion at the rate that we've hit these last several days, like we've had $1 billion plus days into these ETFs. So that gives the OTC market about 30 days before it runs completely dry. Now, I don't think that's really likely because, a lot of these OTC providers, they do so, to make money. And when they sell one day, they're going to probably go back and buy so they can provide a bit more to these ETFs in the future. Maybe. Depending on who these OTC providers are. But anyways, guys, my point is we are, with these Bitcoin ETFs, they are just swallowing up massive amounts of Bitcoin. And they've been doing this since they went live in January 10th. So still big news with the Bitcoin ETFs. Here's some news, guys. This happened a couple days ago, but BlackRock Bitcoin ETF overtakes gold trust. The asset world is shaken. Now, what this is saying here is, Bitcoin hasn't overtaken gold market cap wise. I believe Bitcoin's right at around $1.5 trillion market cap. Gold is at 15 or 17 trillion dollars of market cap. So we've got a long ways to go before Bitcoin overtakes gold. But if you look at this kind of shows that it's possible and it's happening, because BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has more assets under management than BlackRock's gold trust in like 10 months. Okay. The BlackRock iShares gold trust that they're talking about has been active since 2005. Okay. So almost 20 years this gold trust has been active. And in 10 months, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has overtaken this trust, which is, it's insane. It is insane, the appetite for Bitcoin on Wall Street, guys. And we are just getting started with this too. Okay, so in other news, this just happened this morning, guys. Robinhood Crypto expands offering with Solana, Pepe, Cardano, and XRP for US customers. Now, this is interesting, guys, because these are the coins, the tokens that the SEC named as securities. Some of the tokens that the SEC has named as securities. So this is really interesting, guys, because Robinhood delisted all of the tokens that the SEC specifically named as securities. And nothing's changed. There hasn't been any real legal law passed or anything. This is just Robinhood with the election. If you guys remember back to Trump's Bitcoin conference talk, he said, day one, I am firing Gary Gensler. So this is, Trump won the election. This is Robinhood saying, see you later, Gary. Don't let the doorknob hit you when you're on your way out. So Robinhood's just saying they don't care about the SEC anymore. They're offering these things. So a big vote of confidence for some change in the regulatory area for Bitcoin and crypto. But this is huge, guys, because these coins, as much as I'm not a big fan of Robinhood, specifically for their part in what happened in the GameStop thing. But a lot of people do use Robinhood because there's free trades, free. They do provide your information to big money and whatnot, but you get to trade without a fee. And so there are a lot of people that use Robinhood, and for these tokens, this is going to make a huge difference for Solana, for ADA, XRP. This opens a whole new market of people up to these tokens. So, or reopens another market up to these guys. Now, if we look at Solana, because when I first saw that happen, and I was like, oh, Solana's got to be pumping right now. Let me just adjust these charts. And this is still Bitcoin. Had to zoom way out for that yearly. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, so let's jump over to Solana. Look, the past couple hours, we haven't really pumped. We did pump this hour up a bit. What did we hit? 220.84, which is pretty good, but just a few days ago, we were clear up at 225. So Solana's not pumping on that news as much as I expected it to. But guys, I think right now all eyes are on Bitcoin. And that's kind of seen in the percentages. Bitcoin's up 4.9% right now as I'm recording. And Solana's up 2.58. Ethereum's up 1.1. So guys, really, I think all eyes are really on the king. So that's kind of that. I do see some big moves for Solana coming up though. And, you know, these other coins, XRP, ADA. As you guys probably know, I have a big chunk of my portfolio is in Solana, is in Ethereum, and Bitcoin. I have a few others, but not, those are my three main bags there. So good things to come. Trying to think if there was anything else. Guys, I do still want to, I talked a little bit yesterday about doing a giveaway. I've got some good ideas on that. So stay tuned. I will be kind of going through that and announcing that in probably its own video here coming up soon. So guys, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And I know this was kind of a long video, a lot to kind of go over with that comment and everything. But if you guys have comments like that, if there's something that you want to see me go through, let me know. If you want to see me go through the charts of different coins, let me know what you want to see. Comment in the bottom or down below. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll you know, I definitely respond to most comments, other than you know, there are some spam comments every once in a while that I don't bother with, and I usually delete those because I don't want my audience being spammed with that stuff either. But you know, if you're a genuine person, let me know what you want to see in the comments. I'll definitely hit you back up. And yeah, thank you for watching my videos. I know it's a lot sometimes to take time out of your day, but very much appreciated on my end. Guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.